is the NBA on NBC.
Good evening, everyone. This is Rooftop Sports, and I've saw that the NBA All-Star Game has concluded, and now it is my turn to do my All-Star Game, as it's going to be between the West versus the East. Good old times, 1990 stuff. So let's get right to it. And there we are. It's going to be Grant Hill. Looks like he was the all-time leading vote getter, aside from Shaquille O'Neal. And I do have my own player in Jamie Watson. He's going to be performing in the All-Star Game himself as a member of the Seattle SuperSonics. So let's do this. I wonder what the jerseys we can choose. Oh, didn't know we can choose different jerseys from time to time. Wow. All right, let's do this. Congratulations. Sonics have completed the goal. One player named to the All-Star team. 5 reward points. That's great. And while this game is loading, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as we are going to do the All-Star Game and donate to this channel. All right. All-Star Game is in Philadelphia, as it was supposed to be in 1999. Let's do this. For my centers, I think I have Alonzo Mourning. No, that's for the East. I got Michael Finley as the starting shooting guard. Here's Karl Malone, and he goes for the fadeaway, and he misses. Sean Kemp gets the rebound. He is the starter, the former Seattle Supersonic. Now here's Grant Hill with a jumper. He misses. Karl Malone with the rebound. And now here's Jason Kidd with the dunk. And that will get things started. Got Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway. Wonder who the other guy is. Alonzo Mourning and Steve Smith. Now here's Penny Hardaway. And Mourning is going to be fouled. Alonzo Mourning leading that Miami Heat team. And there it is. We got Jason Kidd and Karl Malone. Kevin Garnett being guarded by Grant Hill. Gets it to Kidd for 3. And Steve Smith with the rebound. Now here's Hardaway with a jumper. And Shaq gets the rebound, his former teammate. And they throw it away, and it's going to be West ball, or East ball. A really bad throw by Kevin Garnett. Now here's Hardaway with the jumper. And Karl Malone with the rebound. And now here comes Kevin Garnett. Here's Malone going for a jumper. And not a good All-Star game. Not a good start to the All-Star game on both teams. Everyone's missing their shots. Everyone's playing a lot of defense. And then alley-oop. The alley-oop. And who was that who made the alley-oop? Now here's Karl Malone. Finley for 3. And he makes it. And the West takes a 5-4 lead in this All-Star game. Now it is Mourning to Penny. I wonder who's number 4. It was Sean Kemp. And now here's Grant Hill for 3. Grant Hill has been having a terrific year. And now here is Shaquille O'Neal. He is fouled. And he will go to the line, shooting 2. Takes a lot of patience with Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Shaq again. And he missed them both. Sean Kemp gets the rebound. And now here's Penny Hardaway. Nice pass. That was Alonzo Mourning who makes the pass. The East takes the lead. Here's Garnett for 3. Shaq with the rebound, and he gets it in. And a steal. And here's Kidd to Kevin Garnett with the reverse slam. And he does it with authority. And it is now tied at 9. Hoping for a more competitive All-Star game. Last year, the MVP was Michael Jordan. Now here's Sean Kemp, and he's able to get that in. Sean Kemp doesn't really look too fat in this game. Now here's Jason Kidd. Goes for the long 3. No, not a good shot. And now here comes Penny Hardaway. And a foul. And now Hardaway is going to go to the line. And he makes the free throw. It is now 13-9. Here's Finley. Here's Garnett with the jumper. Now here's Steve Smith. And he makes it. Now here's Shaquille O'Neal for Kevin Garnett. And out of bounds, it is now Eastern Conference ball. Timeout has been called. Now here's Penny Hardaway. And blocked by Shaquille O'Neal. And there we have a nice 2-on-1. And now here is Shaq with the dunk and authority over Alonzo Mourning. Now Grant Hill brings it up. Now here's Penny Hardaway. And Sean Kemp with the putback slam. Here's Shaq. Kevin Garnett. Here's Michael Finley. And stolen by the East. And now here is Hardaway for 3. Steve Smith with the rebound. Grant Hill's able to get that in there. Now here's Jason Kidd. Definitely need a screen. Karl Malone gives him that screen. Goes for the jumper. And he misses again. All these All-Stars are struggling. And we got a steal by Kevin Garnett. And he throws it down with authority. There's Penny Hardaway being guarded. Double teamed now. And that could be a steal. And now here is Jason Kidd. He's going to wait for Kevin Garnett. Oh, with the slam over Grant Hill. The big ticket with an absolute ferocious dunk. Now here's Steve Smith for 3. Karl Malone with the rebound. Now here's Shaquille O'Neal. And now here is Finley for 3. Nope, nothing doing there. Now here's Hardaway with the jumper. A minute 30 left to go in the game, in the quarter. Now here's Shaquille O'Neal. And with a huge dunk. Shaq and Kevin Garnett have been a pretty good combo. Now they're double teaming on Hardaway. Now here's Hill for 3. Kevin Garnett with the rebound. Now here is Karl Malone. What has he got help with? Now it's Garnett going for the ill-advised 3 and rebound Karl Malone. Now here's Shaq. He's fouled and he gets it and the foul. He's looking for an MVP himself. If only he could make free throws. Now here is Robinson to Ilgauskas and the foul. And Karl Malone with the rebound. Now here is Kevin Garnett trying to get around Marbury, his former teammate, and out of bounds. Now here's Shaq. And he just throws the ball away. And now here is Marbury. He's going to let it go. And now they're going to bring in a whole new squad. Got Jamie Watson. He's making his first ever All-Star appearance. This is his All-Star game debut. And we got Vince Carter, Glenn Robinson. And now here is Marbury is wide open. Now here's Jamie Watson. And it could be a steal. Now here is Marbury. He's going to go for it all the way. And with the dunk, and Jamie Watson tried to catch up to him, but he could not. And now we got John Stockton going for 3. Nope. And here's Ilgauskas, and no one's going to take a shot. And that's going to do it. For the first quarter, not exactly a good start for the All-Stars. You got Ilgauskas and Marbury. As long as Vince Carter's in, I want to play with him. Here is Vince Carter, goes for 3. And Abdul Rahim gets the rebound. Now here's Watson, and he's going to try to go in. He's fouled, and he will go to the line looking for his first All-Star baskets. And he does get the first one. Jamie Watson came a long way. He was a rookie with the Utah Jazz. He was there for about a few seasons. Then he was a journeyman pretty much from 97 to 98. And we got a steal. And now here comes Jamie Watson. Does he have it all the way? He does get it. Jamie Watson gets that layup. Now here's Marbury. And he gets it in. He floats it himself. Here's Abdul Rahim. Now here is John Stockton for 3. Taylor with the rebound. Oh, he just throws it down. Maurice Taylor of the Los Angeles Clippers makes his debut. Got a double team along with Elijah Wan. Now here is Glenn Robinson. And Ilgauskas gets that in there. It is now 33-25. And Watson, he throws the ball away. Now here's Vince Carter with the dunk. Vince Carter with an absolute huge slam dunk. Now here's Jamie Watson. Now here's Stockton. Gives it to Maurice Taylor. And now we've got Right to Stockton for 3. And he gets it in there. And a steal by Watson, and it should be all his. And he'll get a dunk for himself. And now a 3-pointer by Vince Carter. And Abdul Rahim gets the rebound. And they lose the ball. Goes to Antoine Walker. And here's Vince Carter. He gets rejected. And it's fouled. Antoine Walker will go to the line. And he makes the free throw. I think at some point they're going to bring Shaq back in. Here's Maurice Taylor. Here's Watson going for the random 3-pointer. Very ill-advised shot. And now here is Marbury. And he's able to get that in there. Jamie Watson's supposed to be known as a defensive specialist. And so who's getting the ball? And no, it's stolen by Houston. And the chase down block by Jamie Watson. Now here's John Stockton to Watson. And stolen by Barry. Not really good passes by Watson. Been turning the ball over a lot. He's been a liability on the offense. Is that Brent Barry? He's an all-star too for the Chicago Bulls. And here's Maurice Taylor. Here is Stockton for 3. No. They're going to bring their starters back. Now here's Allen Houston. I think that was Steve Smith with the jam. Now here's Watson going to try to go in all the way. Elijah Wan with the rebound. And he's able to get that in there. And Watson gets the foul. Here's Brent Barry. Goes for the fatal, goes for the jumper, and he makes it. Brent Barry, an all-star for the Chicago Bulls. Nice that they got an all-star out of him. Finley for 3. And he gets it. Now it's just it's a 10-point game now. Marbury has the handles. And Kevin Garnett, he's going to try to get the ball. Now here's David Robinson. And he's able to get that in. The Admiral. It's kind of a mystery on Tim Duncan not making it to the All-Star game. And fouled by Michael Finley. He is now in foul trouble. I think I'll put in John Stockton. Here's Sean Kemp. He is back in. Going up against Kevin Garnett. Now here's Barry for 3. Brett Barry from downtown. He is now 3 for 3. Now here's Garnett. And now here's Shaq. He is fouled, and he's going to go to the line. And he makes the free throw. And he misses that one. It is now a 10-point game. And now here's Brent Barry with the dunk. Brent Barry with an absolute monster slam. Here's Admiral David Robinson. Stockton gets it back. Here's Brandon for 3. And Shaq not able to get the rebound. Gets out-rebounded by Alonzo Mourning. Here's Grant Hill. And now Barry for 3 again for 3. And Brent Barry is putting on a show. Here's Stockton for 3. Here's Robinson. And the West gets it back. Can't believe Brent Barry is an all-star. Now here's Garnett, and he makes it. They really are making him work. And that's going to be a foul on Kevin Garnett. That is a 4th team foul. Now here's Alonzo Mourning. Defended by Shaq. Now here's Kevin Garnett. Stockton for 3. John Stockton from downtown. And that is going to be fouled by Terrell Brandon. And now they're going to the line to shoot 2 free throws. He misses the free throw. Here's Shaq. Gives it to the open Stockton. He makes another 3. And they finally bring it to within single digits. Stockton is 3 for 7 from downtown. And a steal by Terrell Brandon. Nice defense. And a 2-on-1. And Stockton gets the lay-in. He has really carried the West. I think they're going to try Stockton and Malone for the next one. Now here's Steve Smith. And Shaq gets the rebound. And now here is Kevin Garnett. And stolen by Kemp. And now here's Penny Hardaway. He has the advantage with the dunk over Terrell Brandon. Stockton, another 3-pointer. And now they are down by just 5. And the alley-oop to Sean Kemp, the former Seattle SuperSonic. And a steal, and East gets the ball back. Now here's Grant Hill. He goes for it. And nothing doing. As we get into the halftime, Stockton leading the way with 14 points. Is Stockton hurt? You got to be joking me. Brent Barry of the Chicago Bulls. Yep, he is of Chicago, scoring 13 points a game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, but his 3-point shooting is terrible. Wonder why Maurice Taylor got it. 17 points a game. Yep, that'll do it. He took that step forward. Now we got Sean Kemp. And we got a steal by Shaquille O'Neal. He could do this all by himself, and he will. And it's now just a 5-point game for the West. Now here's Penny. And now Mourning, nice post moves. Here's Finley for 3. Michael Finley from downtown is now 60-56. Now here's Grant Hill for 3. And he just continues to bury them. Now here's Stockton again. Now here's Karl Malone with the dunk, but he is fouled by Sean Kemp. And Malone makes it. And he makes it again to keep it within 5 points. They're trying to use that Stockton-Malone combo. Now here's a floater. Here's Morning. And Shaq gets that rebound. And this is prime Shaq that we're talking about. And out of bounds, it's going to be East ball. And Alonzo Mourning with a nice dunk. We're going to try to pick and roll. And now here comes Shaquille O'Neal. Nice pick and roll by Shaq. Keep it within 5. Shaq is now 6 for 6. But he has 3 turnovers in this game. Double team. And it's going to be a foul. Free throws. And free throws been made, and Jamie Watson's going to be checking in. Now here's John Stockton. And backcourt violation. Bad pass by John Stockton. They're using Watson for his defense. Now here's Sean Kemp. And blocked by Kevin Garnett. Here's Grant Hill. And Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp is looking for an MVP. Now we got Watson. Makes the moves. Now Stockton for 3. And he gets another one. Now here's Steve Smith. Nice jumper. Now here, oh no, it's a steal. Jamie Watson just keeps throwing it away, leading to the dunk. Watson really does throw it away a lot, doesn't he? Here's Stockton, another 3-pointer. And he can only do so much. Grant Hill gets that rebound. Now here's Hardaway with a jumper. And out of bounds, it's going to be West ball. And now we got Vince Carter checking in. Finley for 3. And Kemp gets the rebound. They're going to get it to Vince Carter a little bit some more. And now here's Sean Kemp with the dunk. Kemp now has 12 points. Here's Finley for 3. In the West, they're trying to hang on to it. There's Carter and the foul. And gets the free throw. Now here's Jason Kidd over to Hakeem Olajuwon with the dunk. It's been a little bit of a dunk fest. And the alley-oop to Carter. Carter's been having some dunk highlights too, as if he was already the slam dunk champion. Now here's Olajuwon and the foul. Fouled by Sean Kemp. Can he get the three-point play? Yes, he does. And now they are down by just 6. They are now within striking distance. Now here's Carter for 3. And Abdul Rahim gets the rebound. Here's Jason Kidd. And now Finley for 3. Now here's Grant Hill. And now here's Vince Carter to Alonzo Mourning. Now here's Michael Finley. Gets it to Maurice Taylor. Kicks it out to Kidd for 3. Too many three-point shots by the West. And the East, they are just eating up the West. Here's Olajuwon. Nice pass to Maurice Taylor. And it's going to be a goaltend. I like the attempt by Maurice Taylor going up on Alonzo Mourning. Now here's Abdul Rahim. Now here's Robinson for 3. Olajuwon gets that rebound. Here's Abdul Rahim, gets it to Maurice Taylor. And he gets absolutely rejected. And now here is Vince Carter. And Grant Hill's able to get that dunk. Now here's Jason Kidd. Here's Finley for 3. It's the three-pointers that are literally carrying the West. Now here's Carter with the jumper. And Maurice Taylor gets that rebound. And now here's Jason Kidd. Makes the moves. And he gets absolutely stuffed. Grant Hill with the rebound. And now here's Vince Carter. Rejected by Abdul Rahim. It is East ball. Now here's Grant Hill. Now here's Carter for 3. Olajuwon with the rebound. And now here's Michael Finley for 3. And now here's Jason Kidd. And now here's Olajuwon and the foul. And he will go to the line. And he misses it. Now here's Grant Hill making the moves. And nice defense. And now rebounded by Olajuwon. And now here is Maurice Taylor, who has a chance with the dunk. And now it is just a 3-point game. This has been a very intense all-star game. Now here's Steve Smith. And fouled by Finley. And he is in deep foul trouble. You're going to try to bring in Terrell Brandon. Now here's Hardaway. And a nice putback. 37 seconds left. Here's David Robinson. Here's Abdul Rahim for 3. Not a good shot for Sharif Abdul Rahim. There's Allen Houston to Hardaway for 3. Here's Hakeem Olajuwon. Goes for the jumper, and he gets the fadeaway. Got 7 seconds, 5, and now here is Hardaway getting it to Morning, who kind of goes for the 3 and not going to be doing. And that's going to be it for the third quarter as it continues to get very intense. I think they're going to try to keep theirs as is. Put in Watson, Garnett, O'Neal, and Olajuwon. Got a double team. Here's Kidd for 3. And now Abdul Rahim's able to get that in. He almost got, he was thinking about a putback slam. And now we've got 91 to 87. Now here's a jump shot. And Abdul Rahim gets the rebound. Here comes Jason Kidd. And here's Olajuwon with the dunk authority. It is now 91-89. It's a very close game. Houston. Now Grant Hill for 3. And a loose ball foul by Alonzo Mourning. They got Watson back in. The first-time All-Star for the Seattle SuperSonics. He goes for the drive. He's not going to get it. Now here's Steve Smith. And here's Watson. Now here is Stockton for 3. Hardaway with the rebound, or Hardaway with the ball. And Smith goes for another jumper. And Shaq with the rebound. Now here is Kevin Garnett. You don't want Shaq taking the shot. Stockton with a very long 3. And now it is just a 1-point game. I think Stockton is looking for the MVP himself. Steve Smith, and now here's Grant Hill. Double team, and Kemp with the dunk. Shawn Kemp of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now here's Watson. Now here's Olajuwon. Tries to get around. Here's Watson, and he'll get that in there. 95-94. Now here's Shawn Kemp. And an offensive foul as this game gets too close. Here's Watson. Here's Stockton for 3. And now the West takes the lead. I'm going to put in Vince Carter. I think they'll like the lineup the way it is. Now here's Grant Hill. Here's Vince Carter. Goes for the jumper. He makes it. Now has 11 points. Here's Michael Finley. He is fouled. And that's going to be a 4th foul by Alonzo Mourning. I think they better take him out of the game. You got Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Now Finley with the free throw, he makes it. They're going to put in Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Penny Hardaway. Now here's Vince Carter. Gets a nice fake. Goes for the fadeaway. He makes it. Vince Carter has been a great entertainer. Entertainment. And a steal. Now here's Kidd for 3. Robinson with the rebound. He misses it. Now here comes Vince Carter. Blocked by Jason Kidd. And now here's Shaq. He might have a 2-on-1. Here's Robinson. He makes it. Here's Grant Hill. Here's Carter for 3. Vince Carter from downtown. Now we got Jason Kidd. And now we got Shaq. No, stolen by Hardaway. And now here's Carter. Blocked by Garnett. Now here is Jason Kidd. Might have an alley-oop opportunity. Nope, that's not going to happen. Here's Robinson. And Ilgauskas is able to get that in. Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Here's Finley for 3. Finley's able to get that in there. Now here's Hardaway. Here's Carter with the jumper. And hits. Carter has now 18 points. Here's Garnett. Too much lazy basketball by the West. It is now a 4-point game. You're going to try to double team on Carter. Now here is Carter for 3. And they're going to call a timeout. John Stockton's actually hurt. Eesh, that's not good. John Stockton actually got injured in the All-Star game. That's not good. Need a screen. Shaq, he'll get it to him. And now we're going to try the alley-oop. Nope. Jamie Watson has 5 turnovers. He's having a very Jamie Watson game. 8 points, but 3 assists. And 3 assists, but he has 5 turnovers. Now here's Morning with the dunk. Now here's Jamie Watson. Here's Finley for 3. And no rebound. And I think the East is going to get away with it. Now here's Steve Smith. Anthony Hardaway. And Sean Kemp with the absolutely dominant dunk. Now here's Watson. Now Shaq and the foul. Morning's on his 5th personal foul. And Shaq will go to the line. But he misses the free throw. Here's Sean Kemp. He misses it. And the West, they are down by 9. Finley for 3. Shaq with the rebound. He misses it completely. Looks like the West is going to have control of this game. Gonna get Carter for 3. And Elijah with the rebound. Now here comes Jamie Watson. Watson for 3. And now we only have 30 seconds left in the game. And now here's Smith to Vince Carter. Nope, he's not going to get it. Here's Kevin Garnett. And Michael Finley's able to get that in. Now they're trying to play the trap. And it's now West ball. Now it's to Terrell Brandon for 3. Now here's Elijah. Now here's Abdul Rahim for 3. Now it's within 4. And that'll do it. The East All-Stars have won the game. 115 to 111. I wonder who gets the player of the game. I'm pretty sure it's Vince Carter. No, it's actually going to be Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp is actually going to be the MVP of the All-Star game with his alley-oops and putbacks. Here was Vince Carter's highlights. He caused the Keys turnover. Carter with a huge dunk. And alley-oops for him too. Yeah, here's Jamie Watson, who made his All-Star game debut. Had a nice assist to John Stockton. And a huge chase down block too. John Stockton was also carrying the load. The All-Star game in the books. But unfortunately, John Stockton got hurt. All right, let's see what's next on the schedule. Trade? No, absolutely not. I think I've exhausted every bit of trade I can. Up until the 20th. It will be against the Miami Heat at home. Schedule practice. Do it on Wednesday. Let's focus on ball handling. And then Saturday the 22nd. I want to get them on rebounds. So got a few days left from the All-Star break. Next, it's going to be against the Miami Heat, going up against Vin Baker. Want to see when I want to do the next game. Tomorrow is like a maybe. I think a Wednesday is maybe more likely. It's either that or Monday. Next would be Sonics versus the Clippers. Then Sonics versus Cavs. And Sonics against Vancouver. I guess we'll see. But as of now, I think my best likely is going to be Sonics versus Miami, possibly tomorrow, but I'm just not sure yet. But we'll stay updated. Let's see what the All-Star break does. Does anything change in those 3 days? Go to the scouting. I think I want another look on Steve Francis. All right, so they don't want to look at Steve Francis. Maybe Elton Brand, Ron Artest. Oh, Jason Terry. Not Jason Terry. Chris Anderson. Why would I? Oh, Chris Crawford and a first round pick for Dennis Rodman. No. And no one got injured. All right. I gotta do one more trade. Guess I'm gonna see what is available in the trade market. All right, what's it gonna? I mean, Rashard Lewis would give me a substantial amount. How much would Rodman get me? Not that I want to do it. I don't want to do it. Rodman does have some attractiveness. Let's see. Teron Liu, Andrew Gaze. Yeah, how long is John Stockton out? Says that Stockton should be okay. Ooh. Allen Iverson and Chris Webber are both out for the season, along with Juwan Howard, who is out. Man, a lot of seasons. Cedric Ceballos has a torn MCL. Chris Webber, during his prime. Andrew Gaze is still out 4 to 6 weeks. But nothing on Stockton. Detlef Schrempf has a broken jaw. Oof. I don't really have anyone to trade. I think that's just going to be the way it is. I don't know, Greg Foster and Joe Stevens. Basically, nobody. Yeah, I think I'm done with the trades. That's going to do it. I am out of here. Thank you for being here. And everyone, have a good day and go Sonics. Bring them back.